Welcome to Topic 6 Vocabulary Notes. I'm going to remind you to make sure to copy all of these down. You're going to copy everything you see on the screen. So an integer, all whole numbers and their opposites. An example would be like 3 is a whole number and its opposite is -3. Those are examples of integers. What is a factor? Numbers that are multiplied or divided and the answer doesn't have remainders. So no more remainders. For example, 12 divided by 3. 12 is called a factor, 3 is called a factor. We know that 12 divided by 3 equals 4. Make sure you pause the video and add this to your notes. Quotient, the answer in a division problem. Remember the example above? Here it is again. 12 divided by 3. We know the 12 and the 3 are factors, and they equal 4. 4 is known as the quotient. Product, the answer in a multiplication problem. If I said, I might ask, what is the product of 3 times 4? You're going to tell me the product is 12. So if you want to know what operation is being used, sometimes they'll say product. If they say product, you know the operation is multiplication. Dividend, the amount you want to divide by. Divisor, the amount you divide by. Exponent, a number or variable. You're going to start understanding that the word variable just means a letter. So like A, B, C, because we're starting to dive a little bit into some algebra, and they use a lot of letters in algebra. So a number or variable in an expression that represents how many times another number or variable in the expression that is used as a factor in repeated multiplication. Now that you've written down what an exponent is, here is an example. Make sure that this example is done very nicely in your notes because you don't want any reason to be confused. So when you look at this first one, 2 to the 5th power. 2, the big number, is known as the base. 5 is known as the exponent, this little tiny number to the top right of the 2. So how do you even determine what 2 to the 5th power is? Well, here's the secret that a lot of people don't use that I'm going to tell you to make this easy. All the little number tells you is how many times you're going to write down the big number. So let me repeat that. All the little number tells you is how many times you're going to write down the big number. So if you look at this, here's my little number, here's my big number. So how many times am I going to write down the little number? Well, 5. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And since exponents are multiplication, like we said up here in our definition, that's all we're going to do. We're going to go 2 times 2, which is 4, and then we bring down these other 2's. Then we're going to go the next step, 4 times 2, because remember, we read from left to right in math, just like when you're reading a book. 4 times 2 is 8. We bring down the next 2. And then our last part, 8 times 2 is 16. Bring down my last 2. 16 times 2 is 32. So you could actually write this down as 2 to the 5th power equals 32. Let's do another example. What about 5 to the 2nd power? Well, here's my base number, otherwise known as the big number. Here is my little exponent. Remember, all the exponent is it's telling you how many times to write down 5. So I have 2, so I'm going to write it down twice. And some of you already know that 5 times 5 is 25. So when you do the math, 5 to the second power equals 25. Let's try this last one. Little number, the exponent is 3. The base is 3. Ooh, but it's still the same method. We're going to write down 3 times because the little 3 tells us that's what we have to do. So here is 1, 2, 3. Time to do the math. Reading from left to right, 3 times 3 is 9. And then I'm going to bring down my leftover 3. And 9 times 3 is 27. So 3 to the third power is 27. So when you come and see your teacher, you need to tell them this, show them all of these notes, and then tell them if you have headphones or if you don't have headphones. Thank you.